Fill the sink with water and leave the faucet open. Put the ball under the jet and see how fast it starts to rotate. And if you start moving the jet, then the ball will follow it, remaining in the stream. Now, we tie it to a thread and relaunch it into the jet. It seems to stick to it, but due to effort, you can still pull it out. If your ping pong ball has got a dent, then to straighten it, it will be enough to lower it into boiling water for a couple of seconds. Oops! And the ball has returned to its original shape. You can use it again. Or you cannot boil the water, but just bring the lighter to the crumbled ball, but at its distance so as not to float it. In a matter of seconds, both the original shape and the former jumping ability return to him. He looks like a brand new one. Turn on the hairdryer at maximum power and place the ball in the airflow. It begins to float in the air, moving up and down. It stays even in the flow even if you tilt the hairdryer. Add a second ball, and now they are both floating. We will substitute a bushing over them and they abruptly fly through it. Let's see again. And here's the maximum angle at which a ball will still stay in the steam. Let's take the most ordinary cocktail tube, bend it at right angles, lean it against our lips and start blowing hard inside, and put a ball on the other end. See how fast it rotates, and at the same time it remains on the tube. The duration depends only on your lung volume. And now the same trick, but with the funnel. We blow into it, and the ball begins to rotate. Even if it's not for long, it's harder than it seems. But why torture yourself if you can just attach a funnel over a hairdryer? Let's see what this device is capable of. Don't leave the ball far away. Place it as close as possible and it starts spinning just at breakneck speed. Wow! Let's look at how high the ball usually bounces. If you don't give it acceleration, decent, but surely you can do more. Of course you can. Let's take a glass of ordinary water. There shouldn't be a lot of it, just enough to put the ball in the center and stay afloat. Now we throw the glass and the ball literally shoots into the ceiling. Let's do it again. Just look at the power. If it wasn't for the ceiling, it's not known how far the ball would have flown. Have you ever set fire to a ping pong ball? Let's compare its Gorenge process with Gorenge paper. Wow! This is a powerful flame. It even makes him move. The ball burns much faster than paper. Who would have thought? Now, we will take the ball and use scissors to cut it into small pieces. Then, we will need a small sheet of foil. We put the pieces of the former ball inside the sheet and wrap it exactly like a candy wrap. Then another layer of foil, also quite tightly. Let's put our candy in an empty aquarium. Bring the fire and start gradually heating the foil until suddenly smoke appears. Take your hands off and look! There's a release of flame as if from a flamethrower. See in slow motion how beautiful it is. But do not try this at home. Yeah, it's like there's a real fire-breathing dragon in the aquarium. Although, sometimes you can get a smoke bomb instead of a pillar of fire. But, in my opinion, it also looks cool. Let's repeat again. We put the ball. At first, it just floats. Then, the deformation begins. The bigger it is, the higher the ball rises. Until finally, it falls out of stream once again. Again, the same story. The stronger the deformation, the higher the ball soars. But in the end, it still falls. Look it up close. It gradually swells like a grain of popcorn during frying. And then, when the shape is too uneven, it simply falls under its weight. And now we have managed to repeat the same result at the first attempt while the ball is smoking. And in a matter of seconds, all traces of the ball are erased. In fact, everything can be made easier by piercing the ball with the screwdriver and placing it under the hairdryer. It starts to melt, then a huge amount of smoke, but without fire this time. Let's try again. We direct the hairdryer perpendicular to the screwdriver and the process goes faster. First it melts, then a bunch of smoke, and finally fire. And balls are much more dangerous than you thought. We pinch a match in a vise and point a construction hairdryer at it. It lights up and goes out just as quickly. And what if you pinch all the matches out of the box? Matches light up in a chain reaction in a second. Here are the slow motion shots. It can be seen that the fire sweeps through all the matches very quickly. Look again, a second flash, and they go out. Let's try to heat a whole box. We bring the hairdryer, nothing seems to happen. But then it starts to darken and then a flash of fire from inside. It's burned out all the matches. Let's open it and make sure that none of them survived. It's the lighter's turn. Let's bring a hairdryer to it and see what happens. Everything is calm and then there's a shot literally in a second. Look in slow motion. As soon as the plastic melted, the gas bursted out and threw the lighter away. It's the same result every time. Let's try to squeeze it in a vise. We heat the lighter. There's an explosion. Then another one. But in the end, the gas just evaporates from the lighter. On the second attempt, the same result when there is no gas. plastic just melts. Unfortunately, it was not possible to cause a fire, but we don't give up. We simply increase the number of lighters, as many as 5 lighters in a vise. Turn on the hairdryer. We warm them up evenly. And here's one explosion after another, but again, no fire or even smoke. It seems that lighters are quite safe without a spark, except for a powerful clap from the release of gas. Take a roll of toilet paper. Let's see what our hairdryer will do with it. The video will have to be accelerated because the process was not fast. You can see that the paper is gradually changing color, but there's no fire yet. But we're not going to give up. Let's direct all the heat to one point. After 4 minutes, smoke appears, which means there will be a fire. Finally, the paper breaks out. It will burn for a long time. Look at how it will gradually decrease while it burns through layer by layer. We better put it out by removing the oxygen with the glass bulb. But the spectacle turned out to be very interesting and could not be taken away. Let's take a can of Coca-Cola and put a hairdryer next to it at full power. It will have to wait for some time. Even a construction hairdryer will not warm it up so quickly. After almost 6 minutes, the jar finally gives in, or rather, the liquid inside splashes out, tearing off the top part. Look at this fountain in slow motion. What a powerful splash! The foam soared almost to the ceiling, and now it's smoking. The cola is so hot. Look at what a perfect slice turned out. Okay, it's time to move on to a glass bottle. Install a hairdryer and watch. As you can see, during the heating process, the volume of the cola seems to increase. After 8.5 minutes, we finally get a result. A huge fountain of cola shoots out of the bottle, knocking out the cork. Look how beautiful it looks in slow motion. The foam hits the ceiling, scattered all over the studio. The fountain turned out really huge, and then it turned into a rain of cola.